So, back for another episode of Believe in Boyt with a brand new team that I have made. This is a pseudo Trick Room Tailwind kind of team. So I've gone for both forms of speed control here. It's mainly Trick Room, but it can go fast with Tailwind. The Azumarill and the Magnezone are fast enough to outspeed a Garchomp in Tailwind, so it definitely can be just a Tailwind team as well. The ARBOLIVA is the same one that I have done in my guide for ARBOLIVA. Apparently, the most popular one out of every single Pokemon I've done, which was quite surprising. The only change I've made is change the recommendation. Well, not change the recommendation. This one is a Fairy Terra type. The one in the guide was normal, but that was made quite early on. And it seems that Dondozo is actually a thing, so turning into a Fairy to stop the order ups is quite good, and then you can strength zap them. So ARBOLIVA can defeat a Dondozo 1v1, which is very nice. The Armarouge there, that is weakness policy one that I think is going to be quite strong. I think the weakness policy is one of the better items that Armarouge can run, and not many people are using it, but I want to see if it can be very effective there. Azumarill doesn't really have time to belly drum at this point. It may be able to if you're more of a setup team, but just being able to hit hard immediately with just liquidations and stuff means that it's going to be quite a viable sweeper, whether that's in the Tailwind or the Trick Room. The Assault Vest allows it to have just all four moves that it wants to have anyway, so it's definitely going to be a solid item on Azumarill, especially via the fact that I've added some speed on this Azumarill, like more speed than normal, which sacrifices some of the bulk, and the Assault Vest helps to patch that somewhat. Magnezone here, I've gone with the Choice Spec set that I have recommended. I am going to try Steel Beam, because I don't particularly have much to discharge next to. I only really have my Wide Guarding Armarouge, so I've gone with the Steel Beam so that I can do the huge damage if I need to as well. The Hydreigon is just the same one I'm using. I've got Psycho Cut over Zen Headbutt this time, so I'm not going to miss anything. The Hydreigon is pretty standard. Fire is definitely my preferred on the Terra typing, but it does have Tailwind, so there's no room for Protect, so that I can have that faster mode as well. So, this is a fun team. I've laddered with this a bit on Showdown, and I've had some success with it. Let's see if I can have the same success with it on this ladder. Let's get into some battles. Okay, so Dondozo. ARBOLIVA is supposed to be very good here. They've got the Trick Room mode in just being able to spam with Torkoal, but I've got Armarouge, which can be helpful with that. So, my Medicham outspeeds the Gothitelle, but it doesn't outspeed the Pawmot. So if they go with Pawmot, then they can get the fake out over me. Pretty sure I want the top 3 as well. So I'm going to go with Medicham and Armarouge, and I'll have Azumarill and ARBOLIVA in the back. Still don't like it doesn't default down to done when you clicked on the 4th Pokemon. Definitely should do that. I've got 2 options of going for Trick Room if I need to. I don't think I want to, given the fact that they got a Torkoal. And I want my ARBOLIVA to be the Dondozo counter. Because this team looks like it does commit pretty hard to the Dondozo, because Gothitelle's pure support, Pawmot is generally support, it can still do damage. Okay, so they're going with the potential soak stuff. So maybe I do want to Trick Room then. Because Armarouge doesn't care about... Armarouge doesn't care about going for the Torkoal at all, so I definitely can justifiably Trick Room here. I'm going to. Like, I don't really see many downsides to this. I should survive a Muddy Water. A Hydro Pump would KO me, but Muddy Water will activate my weakness policy. And now I get a double KO on this turn. Close combat and Psychic, right? It's probably better to actually just double into the... they could have Sucker Punch still. But if they do, that's not the worst thing. But already got the weakness policy activation, which is super nice. I didn't see, did I get any accuracy drops? Oh, I got an accuracy drop on Medicham. Oh, I got double accuracy drop. I did not pay attention to that. That's annoying. Okay. So Armarouge would attack first. What do I have? Azumarill and ARBOLIVA in the back. I'm going to double up into the Meowscarada, I think. If they Sucker Punch me, then hopefully the other one would KO them. If they switch into Dondozo, this is still going to do a huge chunk of damage, and that means that I can get my ARBOLIVA in to be the counter it needs to be. So here's Dondozo. I'm going to double miss both my moves and miss out on a huge chunk of damage. They ignore the weakness policy on my armor, but it's still okay. It'll still do a reasonable amount of chip damage. Medicham will do a nice chunk, potentially. So, we will see. So that one hit, but that's the one I would prefer to miss if one were to miss, because that's only a tiny bit of chip. Although the weakness policy is not going to come into play too much here. The close combat did also hit. Nice. So I want to preserve armorage in case there's Torkoal in the back. And I think I do want to double switch here. Switch way around. This way around, I'm pretty sure. Because now they have committed to this, I can just go for strength zaps and be pretty sorted. Ideal is order up into the Medicham. Because surely you can ignore the armorage, right? And they are committing to the Terror. If that's Dragon, that's good for Azumarill. It's Grass, okay. That's worse for Azumarill, but I've still got Ice Spinner, so it's not that bad. No one runs Terror Blast on my Dondozo, so it's fine. Just Earthquake. That's fine. And that's going to do pathetic damage in the future as well, because one of the nice things about ARBOLIVA, it now sets the grassy terrain, and now Earthquake is even weaker. Like, ARBOLIVA is a very good Dondozo check. It covers lots of things. Like, it weakens the damage output, it weakens Earthquake. Like, it's actually pretty sweet. So, definitely Ice Spinner, but do I just go for Hyper Voice immediately? Like, do I even need to Strength Sap? I don't think so, right? Because if I turn into a dragon, not turn into a dragon, into a fairy, sorry, resist dragon, then I can just go for my Hyper Voice, right? I think this is fine. I don't feel the need to Strength Sap yet, because I'm actually at reasonable HP, and I'll just Strength Sap on the next turn. So I'm pretty sure I have one more turn of Trick Room after this. That actually looks quite nice with the arms over the heart. That's quite sweet. They're going to get the boost as well with the Throat Spray. Nice chip. Doesn't make a difference, but it does in the future. And every bit of chip helps against Dondozo. But this will do a nice chunk. I'm getting rid of my own grassy terrain though, actually. I didn't think about that. That's a secondary effect I hadn't thought about at all. That's quite funny. Yeah, and there's the order up. That's good. You still get the attack boost, but I think I am strong enough with this combination. Right? I'm pretty sure that was strong enough. So I don't feel the need to Strength Sap. If this is not strong enough, then I'll just Aqua Jet the next turn. It should be strong enough. Nice. So there we go. Dondozo countered. Now I just have to deal with the rest of the team. If it's Pormot, then they're going to be able to Revival Blessing. I just have to contend with the fact that they could go for a Double Shock instead. It is just Meowscarada for now. That's fine. I'll survive a Flower Trick. I may not survive a Flower Trick and a Muddy Water, so yes, I will double here. This should KO the Meowscarada as well with a Hyper Voice. They are switching out, so Meowscarada is surely being KO'd here. And if it's Torkoal or Pormot, then it's still Pormot, so they're still taking a huge amount of damage. Is this into ARBOLIVA or is it into the into the Azumarill? It's into the Azumarill. Okay, but this is going to hurt. But it should KO the Meowscarada. And yeah, that's a huge chunk to Pormot. So if they have Revival Blessing, then like they do. If I go into Medicham, we can just trade Fake Outs. And I don't think that's too bad. I could fake out the Pawmot just to KO it. Because if they fake out the... Right, so, yeah, follow this logic with me. If they fake out the Medicham, I couldn't do anything anyway. If they fake out the ARBOLIVA, I KO the Pawmot, right? But then Muddy Water might be enough. And ARBOLIVA's already a counter to Dondozo, so I won't care too much if they do allow the trader fake outs like this, right? I'm going to follow this logic here. Okay, I was correct to do so, so that is just game over then. Yeah, because if they do, even if I look like a fool when they fake out my ARBOLIVA, that KOs, and then they no longer get the Revival Blessing into the Dondozo. So, this is fine, because now this is a win. He says, as Muddy Water is still alive, but no, it is not. I will Wide Guard on the Muddy Water to guarantee no accuracy drop onto my ARBOLIVA, and that's even if it survives this. It did. So, fair enough. But yes, ARBOLIVA already coming into play very nicely. Because it is actually... It's not a hard check to Dondozo, but it is a not-so-soft check. Like, it's somewhere in between soft and hard as a check. That is still entirely usable outside of being a counter. So... I didn't even click White Guard, did I? I even said that I was going to do that, and then I got excited and just attacked. So, gave him the win condition, but oh well. Didn't come into play. There was me getting all excited over ARBOLIVA and saying I was going to do the correct play that 100% guarantees the win, and I didn't do it, but oh well. Did not matter. I need to pay more attention. But then again, I'm fine to be excited over ARBOLIVA and just not even pay attention when is fine. I didn't get the accuracy drop. It's all good. Exactly 1,000. Nice. And that is a reasonably hard Trick Room team with a potential Tailwind option. That's quite funny. Alright, so. Yeah, the Torkoal can be shut down by my Armarouge still. Like, they don't have a very good way of breaking through my Armarouge outside of the Hydreigon. I got Medicham that can deal with it well. I got Azumarill that can deal with it well. I got Fairy type of ARBOLIVA that can deal with it well. Yeah, I'm going to lead at least with my Armarouge. Medicham isn't that great here because of the Central Psychic terrain. I think I might just lead with Azumarill. That's unconventional, but I think that's reasonable. I'll bring my Hydreigon because it's a fire resist as well. Because you do need to be careful of the Torkoal. Like, you do need to respect that. Magnezone. Magnezone as a water type is not bad. Medicham is probably not going to be that great. I'm going to bring ARBOLIVA. Even though there's potential Torkoal. I will just turn into a fairy type, endure, and then Earth Power. Well, I shouldn't say endure, because that's actually a move. Survive the eruption is the sentence I was going for. That's alright. So, do they Terra? Because they shouldn't, right? I should theoretically be able to switch into my Hydreigon on Dark Pulse and just play rough the Hydreigon. I guess Energy Ball would be one of the worst things that could have happened. But Azumarill was a very good lead here, because like neither of those Pokemon want to be facing it. If that's Torkoal, I'm getting Chip into it so Eruption's weaker. That's fine as well. Because I'm switching into a Dark type on the Expanding Force. I'm still going to take a reasonable chunk. But this is fine. This is going to do a nice bit of damage to the Indeedee. Then next turn I can switch Azumarill back into Armarouge and just KO the Indeedee this way. They do Expanding Force in front of potential White Guard, that is quite brave, but then again, that would have been me leaving my Armor Rouge in front of a High Dragon, which would have also been very brave, and the Assault Vest is meaning that that's not even a 2-shot, and Play Rough is wonderful, and, of course, does not connect. Lovely. So, I will now Dark Pulse the Armor Rouge, forcing that, and I will switch out into my own Armor Rouge again. Play Rough is such a wonderful move. It is definitely not 90% accurate. Would have definitely appreciated being able to just KO the Indeedee with Dark Pulse this turn. But, alas. Expanding Force shouldn't do too much to my own Armor Rouge as well. If they do follow me, then that's not too bad. Because then they can't, like, the Armor Rouge is pretty useless against my own Armor Rouge and High Dragon, so. Maybe that's the logic they were going for when they led with theirs. Oh, they did not follow me. Okay. That was brave, I guess. I've been talking about being brave. Like, that was too brave. Like, alright, it's not even Dazzling Gleam, it's just Hyper Voice. That's fine. It's back into High Dragon. Yep, that's fine. I could switch into Azumarill again. Like, High Dragon can't touch Azumarill. Just depends on what's in the back as well. So what is it? Hariyama, Toolcole, or can't remember. Hatterene, okay. I will switch into my Azumarill. And I will Trick Room. Because that frees up my Azumarill. Oh, okay, fine. Fine, I'm fine with that. I thought it was still a game, but they didn't. Okay, that's quite a slow, bulky team. So is mine. And I have a bit more damage output. So, this is not too bad. They don't have much for Magnezone. It's only really Arcanine. The Dragon's also very good here. Yeah, Dragon's good, Magnezone's good. Azumarill is not that great. Do need to be wary of Amoonguss. This is going to look weird, but I'm going to go High Dragon ARBOLIVA. I'm going to go Magnezone. And then Medicham in the back. That might be a bit weird, but too late now. Oh, they copied my trainer card. Very rude. Still need to update it. Alright. That's not too bad. So I can turn into a fire type with my dragon here. It's just if they snarl. Yeah, if they snarl, it's not ideal. But I am going to... No, I want to take care of the Arcanine. I'll survive a Flare Blitz. I'm going to double into the Arcanine. I want to take care of it. That's lovely. Okay, that was the snarl. Like, I'd have loved to have got that off before the snarl went off, but alright. 90% accuracy is lovely in this game. Or in this episode, I should say, so far. Yep, Brick Break, fine. Yeah, that Draco might have KO'd it with it. So that's not ideal. I will switch into Medicham here, quite bravely. No. Yeah, I will Earth Power again, because then that will put it in range of a Dark Pulse. But that was not ideal as the first turn. I would have very much appreciated that Life Orb Draco at full power. But that's okay as well. Okay, they'd switched to Iron Head. That was a very smart move, because now I can't really Sucker Punch them anymore. That was a good switch up from them. Not looking so good now. Like, I just need to take care of Arcanine. I'm not sure I can do it quickly. Because they can just Sucker Punch KO my Medicham, but surely they do not Sucker Punch on the turn that I can fake out, right? That would seem odd to me. So, okay. That seems odd to me. Like, that was the turn I could have gone for fake out, and that would have been a completely wasted turn for them. So that was strange. It's just Heat Wave, okay. Yeah, I'm not looking good now. They've definitely outplayed me on that turn, but that was very weird. Because if I fake out the Arcanine, you gain nothing at all on that turn, except for extra chip on the Arcanine. So, there we go. Now things are not ideal. I'm going to have to heavily rely on my Magnezone now. Because I don't think I'll be able to Sucker Punch. Well, no, I wouldn't be in Sucker Punch range yet. And I'm pretty sure the Kingambit's going to be Defiant. So I'm going to switch in here. They can now protect the Arcanine again. But I would be grateful if they just let me see if I would have been able to KO. I'm only at -1, aren't I? Oh no, I'm back to neutral. Okay, then I can Earth Power the Kingambit. This should be Protect on Arcanine though, but I need to play as if they're not going to, because I'm already quite behind, especially after that turn 1 Draco miss. If, like, the Draco hits, I'm just very, very sorted, because my Arboliva gets freed up, my Magnezone gets freed up and doesn't have to Terastallize. Something else could have Terastallized, so that was not ideal. Oh, they're Terastallizing. I would have loved to have got the Draco Meteor into that not yet a fairy Arcanine. That is as near game over as that could possibly be now. And that's an unusual Terra type on Arcanine, but perfect for them here. Now I lose their... Yeah, I'm pretty sure my Magnezone cannot do this. So I just got swept by this lead, but I would not have done if I would have just connected a Draco Meteor, so... Lovely. Yeah, like, there's not too much I would change. Like, I stand by my play of not going for Fake Out, because who in their right mind Sucker Punches a Fake Out? This guy, and it works out. I don't even have Discharge, so I can't even go for that. Yeah, I guess I'll Terastallize so that they can't really deal with me. I will just critical hit paralyze the Kingambit. But that swung like too much in turn 1. If Arcanine gets KO'd, then I don't get swept like this. They've lost their damage control. They've lost their fire types, so dealing with my Magnezone and my Arboliva becomes a lot more difficult. That was still a reasonable chunk. Oh, of course, yep. Rub salt in the wounds, why not? Alright, now this is analytic choice specs. But it's going to be assault vested, so it doesn't matter. There you go. Oh, I did get the paralysis. Oh, I'm in this. Let's go. Alright, so Kingambit stays paralyzed forever. The grassy terrain recovers up my Magnezone completely, although it gets cancelled by the burn. I'm going to attack the Arcanine just because I'm curious how much damage it would do. Like, I've definitely lost, so I'm just playing for information at this point in the future. Heatwave dodge, so I learn. Oh, it's not. So I would be able to, based on this damage, if I would have KO'd. So that's something at least. Not quite. Not quite. So that's an example of like if sometimes things can go wrong immediately and then it's too much of a struggle to get back into the game. Because if the Draco connects into a not a Fairy Arcanine, that combination should have KO'd. The Arcanine would have been KO'd to that and the Earth Power. That would have set me up really well. Unfortunately, it did not connect. Just about top 1,000. It's a cool team. Not sure how I feel about Salamence, given the fact that it's kind of forced to run Dual Wing Beat. And Dual Wing Beat is even more inaccurate than Drake and Meteor and Play Rough. Let me tell you, I'm not making this up. I'm pretty sure the last, 10 times I've tried, Salamence might fit on this team. Let's test it out. It has Dual Wing Beat back in Generation 8. Literally every single first Dual Wing Beat that I went for with Salamence missed. It got to the point that I noticed it was getting that bad. So, yeah. Not sure how Salamence will do in this format, but we will see. It's still quite early. So, we'll go Medicham and Hydreigon here, I think. And then ARBOLIVA is not terrible. Armarouge is not that great. Well, Magnezone for the Sylveon at least. And then, yeah, I want a Azumarill. Salamence can definitely run special as well, though. But then at that point, do you really need to intimidate that much over the damage output of Hydreigon? Who knows? But I just know at this point, I can't trust Dual Wing Beat Salamence anymore. It's lost my trust so much. Alright. So, can't go for Fake Out. But do they U-turn here? So I could Fire type. I could Fire type Tailwind. I don't think that's too bad. I'm going to close combat the Indeedee. I'm going to Fire type Tailwind. So if this is a U-turn, that's not too bad. But then if they Trick Room with the Indeedee, that's not ideal. It's alright, I will just KO the Indeedee in one. And I will Fire type Tailwind. And if they do Trick Room, whoops. Because this definitely could be a U-turn into Trick Room. But if it is, I would just reverse Trick Room with my Medicham, and they won't see it coming. Okay, that's not an ideal start given the fact that they are attacking the Indeedee and not follow me or anything. They are now a fairy as well. Just be strong, Medicham, and then we'll never know. Kapow! Not quite. Trick Room? Or is it just Dazzling Gleam? Imprison! So I can't Trick Room anymore, and I don't really care. Alright, fine. Psycho Cut into the now I'm just double checking. Into the now fairy, yeah. Into the now fairy Meowscarada and a Heat Wave. So they obviously expected Imprison Trick Room on the Medicham, so I'm glad I didn't Trick Room in that case. Tailwind was better. It was probably better actually to Psycho Cut the Indeedee, just in case Heat Wave missed. Because if Indeedee survives here, it's definitely Trick Rooming. So I've been not so lucky this episode so far, so playing against the odds may not be the wisest thing to do. When I could have a guaranteed, and then if Heat Wave does miss, then it's better to stop Trick Room and just allow Meowscarada to play rough something. But this is also fine, unless this is a Dark type. That is not a Dark type. That is not a switch into a Psychic Terrain boosted Psycho Cut from a Medicham. That was not a good switch at all. And I'm very glad I did not Psycho Cut the Indeedee. So, ignore what I was just saying a few seconds ago. This was way better. Because of course I was going to connect with the Heat Wave. And that was huge damage, that burn doesn't matter. I neither did the one against Magnezone earlier, but yeah, this is going to KO now. no chance of surviving Psychic Terrain, and I get a crit on top of it. Like, don't worry, I was confident in that wasn't learning a calc. I was very confident that KO'd the Sylveon. Medicham is quite strong. They have Imprison and Protect. I guess that's just, that, like, they may not have, like, surely they do have Trick Room. They might not have an attacking move. I can check, right? They don't have Trick Room on the Indeedee. How many turns of Tailwind's left? Because if they do Trick Room, I don't actually particularly care. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to close combat the Armourouge, and I'm just going to Dark Pulse the Indeedee. And I don't really care if they Trick Room, because then next turn, I'd be fine. And if this happens, then I've still got one more turn of Tailwinds that I can just go for a Dark Pulse into the... What's Comberry? I can go for Dark Pulse into the Armourouge. So this is still fine. So I was thinking about trying to get fancy and reverse the Trick Room with the Medicham, but that wouldn't have worked out so well. But this is surely just a double KO, unless they go for a Terrestrialize on the Armourouge, and then even if they do... I'm assuming, given the fact that they have Play Rough on the Meowscarada, that they are going to be banded. I don't suspect Play Rough can make its way onto a move slot that is not Choice Banded, because everything else doesn't have space for Play Rough, so... Logic prevailed there, because they just forfeited. Not too bad, not too bad.